I'm publishing a video, so I need just a second. I'll show you the book that I believe is the one I've had 3 copies. I'm not exactly sure what I did with the first 2. It does. Okay. This is the book I had last, I think. I'll look up the publication date. I think it's like 74 maybe. Oh shoot. It's $48.87 for the paperback. And there's only one left in stock. So this one is in high demand. There's another version. Let me see when this one was published. 1650 paperback. That's not too bad. You can buy a used copy for $12. The description on Amazon.com is, here are 62 case histories proving beyond any doubt that Laetrile, vitamin B17, works in the control of cancer. These are not anecdotal stories or cases of people who never had cancer in the first place. Each history is authenticated by a firm diagnosis and meticulous medical documentation. This new, updated, and revised edition includes a follow-up 30 years after the patients were diagnosed with incurable cancer. I didn't know that. Proof is in the actual lifespan of these people who previously been told by their doctors they had just a few months or weeks to live. This book also recounts the personal battle of Dr. John Richardson, who incurred the wrath of orthodox medicine when he used, and his patients elected to use, vitamin therapy instead of surgery, drugs, and radiation as the treatment choice. Oh, he died. Dr. John Richardson was in the forefront of the Laetrile controversy from 1972 until his passing in 1988. He challenged the FDA to secure the right of physician and patient to reject orthodox cancer treatments in which they have little confidence and use nutritional therapy instead. He received a doctorate of medicine from the University of Rochester School of Medicine and completed internship plus fellowship in medicine at the Mary Imogene Bassett Hospital, Cooperstown, New York. He was awarded the title of diplomat by the National Board of Medical Examiners, could be diplomate, I don't know, it ends in an E, and was licensed to practice medicine and surgery in New York. In 1954, he was certified by the state of California and established his practice in the San Francisco Bay Area. Boy. And this talks about his nurse, Patricia Griffin. And her introduction is what sold me on Laetrile. Her introduction was that she had worked in cancer clinics before, and what she noticed about Dr. Richardson's was she didn't smell the smell of rotting flesh and death. She didn't smell anything bad when she walked into Dr. Richardson's cancer clinic. I'd like to read hers, but wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Patricia Griffin is a native Californian who grew up in Michigan. She was graduated from the University of Michigan School of Nursing in June 1953. After working as a psychiatric nurse and in public health nursing, she returned to college and in 1975 received her Bachelor of Science degree in nursing from Mount Sinai Mary's College in Los Angeles. She later attended UCLA and in 1989 received a PFP certification from the School of Business and Management. She lives in Southern California with her husband, G. Edward Griffin. That name is somehow familiar. They are parents of 4 children, James, Daniel, Raph, and Kathleen. But I tell you, it was her introduction to the book that knocked my socks off. It was so real. You could just picture her walking into a cancer clinic and not smelling the smell of rotten flesh because, in my opinion, chemo is just, it's a death toll. Okay, I'm going to share this page. I hope the whole page with Facebook. This is like the most valuable book I've ever read. Yeah, you get everything, I think. You get the reviews and everything. Let me check. But Dmso Handbook for Doctors. Oh, you just click on the link at Amazon. It shows the book. Shows the cover of the book, and the updated book may be the next one I buy instead of the original, because the original is really expensive. This one, it says is $16 for a paperback. I don't see a Kindle option on this one. Buy new for $16.50. Buy used, good condition for $12. And then there's another section, new and used, 23 available from $10.68 plus free shipping. So, I don't know. I was just shocked when I got this book. You know, it had already occurred to me that modern times like 80s, 90s, 2000s, and etc., the publications, I mean, are just like not factual. They've changed math, the whole way they teach math. My son showed me some of this stuff because he was teaching assistant for a teacher here locally for first or second grade, and they have a new math that they're using. He was taught more traditional math, but, you know, and I've read the phrase dumbing down of society on the internet. But I personally concluded that the best books are before like 77, before 1977, if you can find them. And a lot of people sell used books online. So, let me see. I'm not going to look up. Dr. Richardson, the original book, was published in the 70s. But it was like finding a needle in a haystack trying to find information, positive information, because I believed the controversy was so much on television in the 70s that I remember, and I was just like a teenager, and I just remember hearing Laetrile all the time. My brother-in-law, Carl Hanning, had cancer. He had a tumor along the side of his throat or something. And I looked up Laetrile on the internet. It was all these websites saying it's, what do you call it? Quackery and all that stuff. And finally I looked up Laetrile on, probably it was half.com, Now, some big company bought half.com, so it doesn't exist anymore. I think that's where I found the symposium, the Sloan Kettering. I don't know if it was a Sloan Kettering symposium, but it was a convention of doctors, etc. And the whole book was about the Laetrile controversy. So I ordered it. And the first thing I read was about Kinematsu Segura and his positive results with Laetrile. And I thought, shit, there really is something to this. So then I looked, I don't know how I found out about that one. Then I looked for more Laetrile books or something on some used book websites and whatnot, and just ordered Laetrile Case Histories, the Richardson Cancer Clinic Experience. You know, to see if it was another piece of solid information. Boy, oh boy. I wrote a webpage 25 years ago or something. My findings on Laetrile. I don't know where it may be. But it gives quotes from that symposium book. And also a note at the bottom, I just ordered blah blah blah. And see if there's more to this Laetrile business. And I don't know. Conventional modern medicine can be vicious, you know. So anyway, let me check on the upload of Dmso. It's scary to find a medical doctor or a conventional hospitals research medical saying quackery, quackery, quackery. It will poison you. You will be poisoned with cyanide if you eat apricot kernels and stuff like that. And they try to discourage, I think, the use of Dmso too. Because this bottle I buy at Amazon, on the back says, not approved for human use. And that's scary. You know, it's scary to read something like that. But God guided me more than I knew. I learned about Dmso and I had purchased some. And I forget what I used it for. I got gel and I got liquid, and I tried to use some on my wrist or something when I broke my left wrist and stuff. But I was afraid of it. God is the one that made me get my courage up to use it. It's got so many uses. I don't know if you need recurring treatment. If you're born with mongoloidism or retardation, IV treatment with Dmso under the care of a doctor, it kind of heals, it either heals the brain or wakes the person up or makes them more alert and lucid and everything like that. I mean, that's amazing what that could do for people. Now, I don't know if you need recurring Dmso treatments if you have mental retardation or mongoloidism, or if you just need a few treatments, or how that works. I could try to look it up. Let's see if it has a chapter on retardation. But I was looking up for a friend, Lucy Sumner. I knew her from AA. She said she had slipped on the steps at St. Peter's Place, the 2nd Street exit from our section of the building, and had slammed her back or cracked her, she had cracked her ribs. So I looked up Dmso so I could give her solid information about it, because I thought it might help her with the pain, inflammation, or whatever. And I found a problem that I was having with my gums. I think it's if you use 80% Dmso, 20% with water, and rinse and swish. I wouldn't swallow that percentage of concentrate. It helps with, like if you've got a bad tooth, like a toothache, or your gums, it helps with your gums. So I had looked up some stuff to let Lucy know that she might be helped by DMSO and that I had some. And I learned some stuff that helped me too. Okay, I'm going to see if there's a chapter on retardation or mongoloidism. Because, man, what a way. If you could enhance a person's life who was born with retardation, what a uh, what a bonus that would be. I'll share this on Facebook too. Post. Let me see. If this Dmso book has a chapter on retardation and treating retardation, I would say everyone should buy this book. Because everybody probably knows somebody who's mentally retarded. Retardation is a word that's gone out of style, but it seems, I don't know. It could be under brain injuries. I'll look there in a minute. It can be used to treat lupus. Dmso, chapter 25. Here, chapter 27, mental retardation. Dmso is proven to be very effective in the treatment of mental retardation. In some cases, Dmso is used by itself, while in others it is combined with amino acids, vitamins, or other products. A Dmso has also been administered in various ways, including oral, where the patient drinks the Dmso in water, juice, or milk, by intramuscular injection, or by topical application. Oh, so it's not an IV. I thought I had read in another source an IV, intravenous, but intramuscular is just a shot in your muscle, or topical application. And I didn't know mental retardation could be helped by Dmso taken orally in juice or milk or water. One major well-documented study was conducted in Chile on 55 children with severe mental retardation caused by Down syndrome. Patients with Down syndrome, is also known as Mongolism or trisomy of chromosome 21, are born with 3 chromosome 21s instead of the normal 2. Those with the extra chromosome are mentally retarded, and until Dmso, little could be done to help them. The patients in the Chile, which is Chile, South America, study were given Dmso and amino acids by intramuscular injection. That's like where you get your I think. I don't know where you get your tetanus shot. In your muscle, though, not an IV. Not an IV in your veins. The vials for injection consisted of blah, 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 blah. Oh, along with 5 milligrams of gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA. That's a supplement you can buy. I have some GABA, GABA. And 10 milligrams of acetylglutamine. The children were divided into 2 groups, those under 3.5 years old and those over 3.5 years old. Of those under 3.5 years, 15 children received the treatment and 13 of the children served as controls, meaning they didn't receive the treatment. In those over 3.5 years old, with the oldest being 14, 16 children received the treatment, while 11 children served as controls. For the children under 3.5 years old, the dosage of 5 cc's ampule containing 5% Dmso combined with the amino acids, and that's a very low concentration of Dmso, was adjusted according to body weight. Those that weighed less than 8 kilograms were administered 5.5 cc's. I won't go on with all the details. Blah, 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 blah. With the children who were less than 3.5 years old, the injections were given every other day for 90 days. There was then a 1 month break without the Dmso. All the children received a minimum of 3 cycles of injections. During the 1 month break, the patients were given capsules that contained GABA, G-A-B-A, all capitals. If you order GABA, and it can get expensive too, if you order GABA, it's all caps. That's the only way I've seen it. Comma, GABAB, G-A-B-O-B, acetylglutamine and arginine, but no Dmso. The children who were more than 3.5 years old received injections every day for 20 days, alternating with 20 days off. During their 20 days break, they were given the same thing. They all received 5 series of 20 injections for a total of 100 injections. Both groups of children showed large advances compared to the control groups. The psychometric testing of the children under 3.5 years old was figured in accordance with Cassell's development quotient. Those treated with the Dmso improved in all areas, with the results summarized below. And it describes motor area, adaptive area, language area, on and on. The treating doctors agreed that the Dmso amino acid therapy is a big advance in treating children with severe mental retardation. They also recommended increasing the number of children treated and extending the length of treatment time. In the treatment of other children not related to this study, they administered higher doses and obtained better results. Finally, they stated that even though they have not arrived at an ideal treatment, the Dmso amino acid therapy provides progress in treating a condition in which there has been no other progress in decades. When the treatment first started for one young man, Billy King is his name, of Portland, Oregon, it says that he is the most famous case of Dmso-treated children with mental retardation. When the treatment first started, Billy King was 14 years old and had the mental capacity of a 10-month-old. He could walk and feed himself. However, he could not speak or understand what other people said to him. At the time of the third picture after using Dmso for 2 years, he had the mental abilities of a 7-year-old. He could speak and understand what was said to him. He could write his name and identify 269 Peabody flashcards. As shown by the pictures, he had lost his mongoloid looks. He could also swim across a swimming pool. That's cool. Billy King continued to improve over the years. As an adult, he worked in a Portland bookstore. This is an example of someone whose life was completely changed with Dmso. He went from a person who had a very poor future and who would have probably been dependent on others for support to a productive adult who brought home a paycheck every week. It says, what is the current status of the mentally retarded in the United States and other countries around the world? Many children who are like Billy King was before his DMSO treatment are in state institutions. Many, if not most, of those who are severely retarded, who have suffered severe brain damage, could leave the hospital and lead normal lives. Your tax dollars are being thrown away in mental hospitals, and worse, patients who could be cured continue to be given tranquilizers to quiet them instead of DMSO treatment to cure them. It is time to start really treating these people, and for those involved in the treatment to really believe that severely retarded people can be helped to become productive people. Now, I had part of my brain removed. In some explanations here, I've been told I had my whole right brain removed, but I know that I had at least a part above my right ear removed, because that is the spiritual center of the brain. God has been using colloidal silver with DMSO for me, and just DMSO and water too. But it's probably helped my brain regenerate also. Chapter 28 is multiple sclerosis. I mean, this book is just amazing. I put it on Facebook. I'll see if I can also share it with Twitter. I don't know how to go to the beginning. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to share. Yeah, I can put it on Twitter. But these books... Now, God was already guiding me about DMSO before I read this book, I think, and let's see. DMSO. I'm not... Here we go. Okay. So anyway, I think if I were going to buy Laetrile case histories again, I would buy the updated version with the follow-ups on the 30 patients. My impression after reading the first book that was published in the 70s, Dr. Richardson said that all the patients he treated that he included in the book had already been treated with conventional cancer therapy treatments. And he said they were all near dead when they got to him. He was their last resort. I didn't know that any of them survived to live long term. I thought they just felt better, had better appetites, were more alert, were more energetic, and all that because of Laetrile before they died of cancer treatment, if you ask me. I've said this, and I'm not sure how it sounds, but I'd rather die of the cancer than die of chemo. You know, because chemo, just from what I've observed and read about and stuff, breaks your spirit. You know? So your life is not worth living, and you feel sick all the time. Okay. I'm excited, so I feel like I have to slow myself down again. It's exciting to be able to share this stuff and know that there are people who will benefit from this, because there's there's more information than there used to be on the internet about Dmso and cancer and Laetrile. But the more people know about it, the better off. I mean, I don't know. Even though the courts in California in the Richardson Cancer Clinic experience acknowledged that Laetrile had a palliative effect and improved the quality of life of cancer patients. They still ruled it quackery and made it, I guess, illegal to use. I'm gonna stop and upload this.